Magic is something that's pretty incredible. And, you know, when you see magic, doesn't it just kind of enchant you, amazes you, right? If it's done skillfully. Is that correct? Well, I'll tell you, this next topic is all about stepping into your magic. Because she's going to tell you about some things that you can do that's pretty incredible. And, you know, I just want to tell you, I'm just so impressed and inspired the more I find out a little bit about your daughter. You know, it's in the lineage, right? But, you know, many of you may not know this. In 2016, Rebecca was awarded Warrior Woman of the Year, and also she has also been with over 14 years of experience in the financial industry, growing multiple six-figure businesses and practices. And she also received awards for her sales expertise, networking skills, in the corporate arena, as well as transformational coaching. So I will tell you, I am so amazed every time I hear her speak, because she always brings that incredible wisdom, right? And right now, I'm really excited because she's going to teach us and teach you how to step into your magic. Let's go ahead and welcome Rebecca Hall Gruyter. She's promoted from beautiful to now gorgeous, right? Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Well, I wanted to spend some time today kind of integrating, because that's part of the magic that you get to bring forth, is really processing some of what has been shared today. So does that sound good? Yes. Okay. So we have flower charts that are coming around. So I'm going to give them just a moment. And I want to review some of the things that we've talked about and some of the speakers have touched on today. And then you're going to personalize your flower chart just for you, because I want you to take this with you and use it and bring it forth in your life. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay. So we have a lovely flower. Make sure everyone can see this. Okay. Now what goes in the center? We're going to get really good at this. That's right. You go in the center. Perfect. So you guys are already bringing the magic. So then I want you to think about what we talked about in the beginning. Remembering who you are. And I want you to go to that first petal and just see, has something struck your heart in what's been shared today, a reminder of more of who you are that you can start bringing forth in your life. So you get to fill out your own charts. And this is something that you were reminded of today. Remember who you are. And I want us to stop for a moment. Is there something we're thankful for? It's really important as we're reaching and we're stretching and we're looking at things. Is there something we can celebrate that we are thankful for? And I want you to put that in that petal. And then in the beginning of the day, we set intentions, something that we need, that we are willing to claim. Just check in on that. Is there something more coming to you? Is there something you're celebrating in that? Something you're still needing and reaching for and looking for? Sometimes those are different. Sometimes we have this thing we need, but we're not quite willing to receive. So it's important to always ask that second question and kind of check in. And then here's the extra credit bonus opportunity. Who likes extra credit? Yeah. Okay. I want you to identify 3 actions, 3 steps that you can take. Not starting tomorrow or next week, starting today. They're all going to go in this pedal. And you can ride around the pedal if you run out of room in the pedal. The pedals are flexible. And what's something you're going to celebrate? Love that. Share and celebrate. And we also talked about how life is not a solo journey. Exactly. So have you identified some of your community, some of your tribe, some of who is going to support you on your journey? If so, I encourage you to write it down. The petals are supporting you. The leaves are supporting you. So the support you have, or it can be the support that you need. Perhaps you've identified, you know what? I need more help in that area. I need more support. Awareness is great because then you know what to look for. You know kind of that next step. And then we talked about this aiming high. Very good. So whereas aiming high, it's really important to dig your roots deep too, so that you're grounded as you're reaching high. So what are some of those things that can nourish and support you, that can feed into what you need to aim high, to have that stretch, that reach? So when the challenges come, please hear me, when, not if. When the challenges come, when the storms come, when the fires come, when those challenges come, you want to have roots that are deep. You want to know your why, and you want to have practices built in to support you. Perhaps it's the pause. Perhaps it's remembering your why. But what are those things? They're going to help your roots dig deep, get the nourishment you need so that you can do that stretch. And I feel like you've gotten a lot of tips and advice and suggestions and ideas today and mindsets and tools and connections. So I want you to be able to put that together into something that's going to support you. Because as you go back out into the world, I want you ready to aim high. I want you aiming high now. I want you to know you've got these roots that are going deep, that you know what you can tap into, that you remember you're not alone, that you're building ways to have that mindset for success, to stretch in those ways that matter to you, to bring what you're called forth. This is going to become a reference tool for you, a guide, something to remind you. I think it was Monique that had the magnet, that reminder. It's really important to have things top of mind so that you remember when it gets a little foggy or it gets a little challenging. Sometimes questions you can ask yourself: is this a moment to rescue myself? Where is my Space Needle? Where is it that I need to look to keep going forward? What is it that's going to keep my roots deep and grounded as I'm reaching forward and moving forward? So take just a couple minutes. I want you to think about these things. Write it down on your page, and it can be in pictures, whatever way information comes to you. And I want you to include where we have the leaves. What's a way you're going to give? Share. Add that in. It can be giving of your time. It can be sharing your wisdom. It can be encouraging another. But what is something as you are receiving and claiming what you need and standing in and being thankful that you're also going to share? We have that energy in that movement. Circle of giving. Beautiful. So what is that? Because I want you actively on the lookout for those opportunities. Sometimes it can be our attitude. Sometimes it can be our energy. Sometimes it can be financial. It's all different ways that we can give to another, that we can share. And I just have in my heart, there was a story I share sometimes, and Cindy, I was thinking about you with this, and Lucky's, that there was a checkout person at the Lucky store, Lucky supermarket, and it was one of those Sundays. Sundays tend to be a really, really busy day, right? And technology was going sideways. So, people get a little bit tense and frustrated, and those lines kind of get longer and longer and longer. And then people get so frustrated, they start abandoning carts with groceries in them, and they just don't care anymore, and just becomes a mad, hot mess, right? And people's temperatures rise up a little, maybe not as patient, not as kind. They're not feeling the holiday cheer. And I was in one of these lines and chose to observe. We don't always choose to observe. Sometimes we're in it and we're feeling that. I wasn't feeling the pressure of time, but I just thought, I'm going to pause and breathe, kind of be patient here, and just kind of see. And as I stopped and I started observing, I noticed some things. I noticed the people behind me were just kind of going along, a little frustrated, but, kind of okay. This is kind of how it is. They were accepting. The lady in front of me did not feel that way. And this was a powerful woman in front of me. And you could just feel the frustration and the anger radiating off of her. And I couldn't understand why she was getting angry. I understood frustrated, but I couldn't understand why she was getting so angry. And I was like, ooh, I'm going to take a little step back. It was that kind of powerful energy. And then I looked at the object that seemed to be creating this stronger and stronger reaction. It was the checkout lady. She looked like she was having the time of her life. Chit-chatting, moving along. She was efficient. She was doing her thing, having a great attitude. And the person was just getting more and more frustrated. And I could tell her trying to kind of rally people behind her. Don't you see what's going on? Doesn't she know how terrible it is? She was going to share this message. She's echoing that out. We can choose what we echo out, right? And I watched this, and as she got to the checkout lady, she decided we were the audience. And she goes, aren't you frustrated? Don't you see that everything is going wrong here? Aren't you frustrated? You're so busy in all these crowds, and things aren't working. How can you be so happy? And we all waited to see the response. And she looked at her, and she paused, smiled pleasantly, and she goes, it's not busy, I'm just popular. She was stunned silent. We all started laughing, and and she didn't have any words and went along. And I thought, what a beautiful perspective. It's how we look at things and what we echo out. And I just really appreciated that moment. So it's in everyday things that we get to make these choices. How we're showing up, what we're echoing out, what we're sharing. And Cindy, I was thinking of you because I feel like you were always that way. Pleasant, positive, and supportive. Like that's what you kind of echo out. And I appreciate that in how you show up in life. Yeah. So we have those choices everywhere we go. It's in what we do, but I tell you, it's in that daily stuff. We're echoing things out. We're shining things out whether we realize it or not. So I'm going to invite you to be purposeful. Don't be the lady in front of me echoing out, spreading that kind of message. I invite you to be the one that's changing the perspective, bringing another way of looking at things and sharing that gift with the world. Does that make sense? That's part of the magic that we bring and that we share. So what is a way you can start sharing some of the magic of you? And I want you to actually put that around your flower. That's part of your shining out. What are things people say to you? Oh, that's so you. One of the things I actually hired a really expensive speech coach to get rid of was my laugh. I did. I made a list, surprise, surprise, of things that needed to shift and change about me if I was going to be this speaking person out there touching people's lives. And so top of the list was the laugh. We had to do something about that. How would anyone hear me or take me seriously with a laugh like I had? I know. No, I claim laugh. Again, it's perspective. And so I went and I was very serious about my list, and I remember he looked at me. And I don't know if you've ever experienced with people who are further along in a particular area. He took my list gracefully and kindly. He goes, now, and when someone does that, you're about to receive some valuable information, right? I'm telling the truth here. He goes, oh, okay, Rebecca. And there were pages. Okay, now, let me share something with you. He goes, you're confused about an asset and a liability. This is someone who's worked with Drew Barrymore. He's worked with Maroon 5. He's worked with these amazing talents out in the world. So I had a lot of respect for him. And I was feeling vulnerable telling all my list of things that needed to be changed. Because Rebecca, when you have something that people remember about you that's contagious in a good way, that they lean into and actually makes them smile, that's a good thing. That's not the thing you get rid of. That's distinctive about you. That becomes a signature. If anything, you do that more. And I just looked at him stunned. He goes, the things that you worry about are the things that interfere with your message if they can't hear you. That's the thing you work on and you focus on, not the thing that they lean into. And sometimes we see our quirks, our things that are different, as something we need to change or get rid of. And I want to invite you to shift the perspective. That could be the magic that you're actually bringing to the world. Is that very thing that's different about you that people always kind of comment on. Maybe that's the thing you should be doing more. That could actually be your magic. The shoe changes, when I started doing those, I did it for a few reasons. One, it was practical because your feet will hurt by the end of the day if you're wearing the same high-heeled shoe the whole time. Two, I like shoes. So I wanted to create a business reason to have all these shoes, right? That's part of what I do. It's my signature. We change the shoes, tax person. And I have documentation of it, kind of building in those things. And they lifted my energy, and it was fun for me. And those things that lift your energy and are fun for you and energizing, guess what? Others enjoy too and lean into. And I also did it because I liked themes, in case you didn't know that. I'm Rebecca Hall Gruyter. I like lists and I like themes. And so I would tie the shoes into the message. And that became kind of fun. What I didn't realize is how much others would like it too, and it would become a thing. So now whenever I travel, I have to bring an extra bag of shoes. So, be mindful of what you embrace and you bring forward and enjoy. But bring the things that are magical to you that you enjoy. The flower pins, like you were bringing up, Marlene. Like that's something, if someone had told me way back when that I would be able to use flower pins in all the speaking that I do and share what that means and use flower charts, I would have done this, especially when I was in corporate and finance. But it's that different perspective, that different way you can look at things that create that magic. So I'm going to take just a moment and write down a few things around your flower that are kind of different about you? Some of those quirks, some of those things that are so you. And who wants to share a quirk, something that's so you that we can celebrate? Yes. I will do it from the stage here. I didn't give my team warning.
I've said many times
that I take my business seriously, but I have a lifetime supply of dirty jokes.
Wonderful. So you know what everyone's going to ask her during the break? Oh, wait, you... Okay, so you've already got some connections. I love that. Okay, who else? Yes. Thank you. Uh-huh.
And it's my wand, and a certain Rebecca person encouraged me to first use it. She actually trapped me because she said, we want
I lovingly supported. Reframe. No, I'm kidding.
It was love, but it felt like trapped at first, right? Because she said, we want you to speak at this event, and we're going to give you a free vendor table if you bring your wand and do business readings. And I grew up a Baptist girl going to Bible college. So standing in that I'm a business medium was really hard, especially back then. But now I'm celebrating it.
I love it. I love it. We celebrate. Beautiful. Beautiful. Anyone else? Yes, Lori.
Well, since I realized my colors and my fire element, everywhere I go, I have so much fun just with my colors, and I'm a necklace fanatic. So
I celebrate that.
It's like I always have to have something on, you know, and today, thinking of you, I have my grandma pearls and grandma garnets. So I had this necklace made from my two grandmas.
I love that. Beautiful. Okay, one more. Yes. Cindy.
I have taken such a ration for being positive my entire life from every direction. And I have to tell you that it makes me feel like Rebecca looks, all sparkly inside, when I'm positive. And it's a huge manifester. So I've always been a half glass full, and it just works for me. So I quit apologizing a long time ago.
Love it, love it, love it, love it.